So I wanted to gather you guys, gather the fans, the real Star Wars fans, and kind of give you some good news on Starkiller, some updates, and some exciting things that are probably coming, because we all know that The Force Unleashed was a classic game, and we all know that was the start of Sam Witwer, one of the great actors of our generation. Even though he has just voice animated characters, he is one of the greatest actors to come out of Star Wars. We've talked previously about this, but Star Wars Celebration came and went, and then we have some more interviews, and very recently you have also Sam Witwer talking about it, while also Hayden Christensen was passing by. So everything happened in a flash. He said in an interview that he would love to come back to play Starkiller in any way, shape, or form, whether that be in animated form or just in live action or the game as well. Now imagine if we don't get Starkiller in live action, but we get The Force Unleashed 3. Even though he died, he came back again. And why not? He can come back again. I can just imagine The Force Unleashed 3 coming in the timeline between Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi. Luke has already been established. Vader has been very much established to that degree that he has that light side and that dark side to him. This would be the perfect timeline for Galen Marek, aka Starkiller, to come back. So in this interview, Sam Witwer, when asked if he could come back as Starkiller, he said, "I'd love to. Let's get Hayden Christensen in on that as well." Naturally, he means, of course, Vader. So from the mouth of Sam Witwer himself, not only is he ingratiating himself into returning back, but also Hayden Christensen. We know that Hayden already has played Darth Vader in the Obi-Wan series, so now he could play it in the Starkiller series as well, even in a Force Unleashed 3. Then he went on to say, it's a fantastic character, and I think the reason he's interesting is that he spends the whole first half of his story making terrible mistakes, and then he spends the second half of the story trying to undo those same mistakes piece by piece. I think it's really compelling, so yeah, if they want me to do a remake or any kind of continuation, I'd shave my head in a second and I would do it. Don't you just love hearing that from Sam Witwer? I mean, he's already busy with Maul Shadowlord that's coming in 2026. And you know what? Since he said this, more things could be coming in 2026. You have to keep your hopes up, because by this interview, and as we've said previously, like Disney and Lucasfilm desperately want that Gen Z male to come back to Star Wars because they felt they have lost it. Well, guess what? Starkiller would be the perfect antagonist or protagonist, whichever way they choose to go. Galen Marek is a successful character. It's a creation of George Lucas and Dave Filoni together. I mean, what more could you really possibly ask for? According to rumors coming straight from the San Diego Comic-Con, Starkiller is about to become canon again in Ahsoka Season 2. So it sounds kind of crazy, but a week ago, there were many insiders talking about how possibly Sam Witwer could come back playing Starkiller, Galen Marek, in the next upcoming Ahsoka season, because it would all correlate to the Mortis gods. Now, in the upcoming Ahsoka season, we know by Baylan Skoll that they are going for it. Baylan Skoll is about to unleash the Mother, which we had a lot of hints in Season 1, not only with Baylan Skoll, but also with Anakin and Ahsoka in The World Between Worlds. Previously, the Clone Wars and the Star Wars Rebels already established this Force mythology regarding these deities, but in a potential twist of what's coming, it's going to be the introduction of Starkiller, Darth Vader's former apprentice that is currently in development. This way, you have Anakin in the middle as the father, and both of his apprentices, the light side apprentice in Ahsoka and the dark side apprentice in Starkiller, by his side. In Star Wars Celebration, even Dave Filoni kind of gave some remarks and hints during some interviews, because he hinted at the incorporation of the character the Son into his storyline. We know who played the Son, of course, in the Clone Wars series, and that was indeed Sam Witwer. He actually played the Son before he even played Maul, so keep that in mind. Let's go back to Season 1. In the first season, Ahsoka has some visual cues that suggested she is going to become the daughter, one of the Mortis gods that embodies the light side of the Force. How do we know this? Well, by the ending of the show, she donned the white clothing. She actually became Ahsoka the White. So she is the embodiment of the light side of the Force. Then we go to Anakin Skywalker, who was formerly Darth Vader. He could assume the role of the father, overseeing both of his apprentices Ahsoka, and Starkiller, who embody the light and the dark side. What's even more interesting is that Anakin himself represents both sides, represents the balance because he is the chosen one. He actually did this in front of the Father. He controlled with the Force, he controlled both the son and the daughter. Now, Dave Filoni is known for integrating elements into Star Wars Legends continuity and bring it over into canon. Now, there were several nods to Starkiller that appeared even in Andor, by the way. We're going to talk about it later on because there are many hints. This is not just a rumor. Starkiller was hinted at a lot during these past years. If we go to Sam Witwer, for example, he has downplayed his involvement in Ahsoka many times. He has been credited with providing the voice of the son in the first season. He has been credited in the Ahsoka series, but for some other voice work. Some fans initially speculated that Witwer might have been playing the character Marek, but as we learned, this was untrue. What we do know about Season 2 is that Dave Filoni revealed the first half of the season will feature a major war. Then, Hayden Christensen, we know that he is very involved with Season 2, so much so that he has been filming for a month now, and he will film throughout October. So this is like 5 months of shooting. This has to give you some sort of a confidence that he will be much more involved in Season 1. All in all, there's going to be 8 episodes planned. So at the first half, maybe Episode 3. By Episode 3 and the beginning of Episode 4, there's going to be a major war. We know that because Thrawn is now back into the main universe, into the main galaxy. Ezra Bridger is too. So they will probably fight. But back here, back on Peridia, Ahsoka is alone with Anakin's Force Ghost. And now, what Baylan will release, we don't know, but we suspect it's going to be the mother. So this Mortis Gods thing could really be happening in Season 2, and this is the only way, I think, for Starkiller to legitimately, perhaps, come back into the fold. I know Dave Filoni would love that idea because he was really much involved during those times. Now let's talk about all the hints and all the Easter eggs that have hinted on Starkiller's return. Okay, so if we go by Andor Season 1, the first thing you'll notice is some hints and some Easter eggs where in Luthen's shop you can clearly see a Lord Starkiller armor fully visible, and I don't care what the excuse was. I don't care if it's a Utapau armor, ancient armor. I don't care about that. It was indicated specifically because of Starkiller. That armor is irrefutable evidence that it's an Easter egg from Force Unleashed video game. Sam Witwer coming back as Galen Merrick. Again, no downside to this whatsoever. Sam Witwer is a Star Wars genius, is a Star Wars maniac, as we've seen countless times. That dude deserves to be in Star Wars, in the Star Wars Hall of Fame. Whether he comes back as Maul, we've discussed in a video that I want Maul to be back in this new universe where everything is being jumbled up with the Avengers of Star Wars and Maul going up against Luke. A Grandmaster Luke would just be beautiful, but imagine him coming back as Starkiller, the original Sam Witwer that we first saw introduced into Star Wars media was through Force Unleashed. Before that, he was only a voice-over character, with voicing many characters, including, of course, Maul in the Clone Wars. Around that same time, through the Clone Wars, the Force Unleashed was unleashed as well to the fans, and Sam Witwer has just been a legend ever since. He hasn't taken a step back at all, and just like Ahmed Best, just like we pleaded with Disney and Lucasfilm to bring Ahmed Best back, to forget all that controversy with Jar Jar and everything. And now Ahmed Best loves, and the fans love Ahmed Best. Everybody's in concurrence that Ahmed Best needs to be in Star Wars, whether as Kelleran Beck or as Jar Jar, we don't care. We just want Ahmed Best into Star Wars, and I think the same sentiment is present for Sam Witwer too. It will always be there. So Disney, listen to the fans. It's just that simple. Alright, so in this Starkiller TV series, Vader, of course, is the main antagonist. Now, I'm not saying copy the video games beat by beat. This would suggest that many fans would know what happens, but the main elements should be there because of the Vader connection. Starkiller doesn't exist without Vader, and Vader has that side that would never be shown without Starkiller. So they both kind of coexist. But this way, we would get the best out of two worlds. We would love to see Starkiller evolve as a character in this TV show, but at the same time, we get more Vader, and that's never been a loss for Star Wars. The guy literally saved Rogue One. Rogue One was a good movie, not a great movie. That was probably because Disney kind of panicked. We saw with Andor, when they let them free, Andor was a great series. That's how it was supposed to be. The movie was supposed to be. But in the end, we saw that Vader scene, whether you like it or not, whether you agree with it or not, it was amazing, and it still lives on to this day. That's because fans crave more Darth Vader. Darth Vader, as the antagonist of this show, he is a quiet antagonist. He doesn't hunt down Galen Marek from the jump. It's a process. As we see episode by episode, Vader gets frustrated more and more with Galen Marek as he slips through his fingers and joins the Jedi, and this is how the series evolves into the finale, which should be amazing. So, let's go through our next talking point. Season 1 ends with a Starkiller Vader duel, and the rebels in the end help him escape. Now, what can I say about this? This is the ending of The Force Unleashed 1. Of course, Vader has plot armor, so Starkiller cannot defeat Vader outright, but he perhaps gets him down, or it's a fair fight. But of course, in the end, Vader comes back, and before he gets the final blow on Starkiller, kills him, the rebels intervene. It doesn't have to be Jedi Master Yoda. It could be some other Jedi, surviving Jedi, that could, connect with the existing canon, with the existing universe, and they save Starkiller at the very ending with an explosion perhaps that distracts Vader, and they extract Galen Marek in the process.